The ongoing COVID-19 fight for the Bahamas to be revealed. Also, a major bank reducing its operations due to the pandemic. And
I think for the most part, a lot of the persons who are booking are looking to see what kind of protocols we have for their safety.
Looking forward to the return of services in the hotel sector. Those stories when the Morning Edition returns after the break.
Explore the world of agriculture with us. Join me, your host, Carla Palmer, for continued adventures in agriculture and the marine environment as we head into Season 2 of the program, Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now, moving to a new date and time, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. From the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Expect more details on the current pandemic and the way forward in the country. Good morning, I'm Lloyd Allen, and this is the Morning Edition. Health officials continue to battle new COVID-19 cases as those figures are now over 6,000. What are the plans moving forward as a new emergency order is set to unfold? Well, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, is expected to speak to the range of issues during a national COVID-19 press conference this afternoon at 5 o'clock. It will be carried live on the ZNS television and radio network. And as noted, the resolution to extend the new emergency orders has made its way through the upper chamber. Yesterday, senators passed the resolution extending the orders to the end of November. 5 government senators voted yea, 3 opposition senators voted nay, and 7 senators were absent. And Scotiabank downsizing its operations as the current pandemic has impacted services in some of its branches by at least 50%. In the wake of the development, the bank has decided to consolidate operations in Abaco, Andros, Long Island, Paradise Island, and Exuma into branches here in New Providence. The consolidation will take place over the next 4 months, and all customer accounts will be transferred to branches in New Providence. Now, a statement from the bank officials noted that changes are necessary for the long-term viability and success of the business. It was also pointed out that efforts will be made to minimize customer impact and preserve the employment of staff. And meantime, hotel operations could be bouncing back soon. At least the first hotel property should be back in business by the end of the year. Director of Labor John Pinder says plans are underway for the return of hotel services.
So there are plans for the 2 major hotels to start to put some level of bookings in place to determine how soon they can open. My information is that Atlantis is trying to open for December. Bahama is still a work in progress. They're looking at probably first thing in the new year.
Now, Pinder says while the country awaits the return of the tourism sector, it's critical that all health and safety measures be implemented prior to persons returning to the workplace.
I think for the most part, a lot of the persons who are booking are looking to see what kind of protocols we have for their safety. Because, you know, the tourism minister indicated and the director of tourism, they're indicating that most persons want to come in for the beaches more than anything else. So we just need to ensure that these new measures that are being put in place as it relates to the testings of persons coming in, and I think the Minister of Tourism alluded to the fact that they'll be tested at least 2 or 3 times within a 5 or 7 day period. I think that's a step in the right direction. I think it is important for even the staffers to be tested regularly. I think the Parmesan is going to be considered a safe zone. We have to ensure that everybody coming over the bridge is tested in some way or the other.
And the U.S.-based Centers for Disease Control has updated its advisory to level 3 against unnecessary travel amidst widespread transmission of COVID-19. The latest advisory has special implications for the cruise industry, recommending that travelers defer all cruise travel worldwide. Now, the CDC warns that as some countries report widespread transmission of COVID-19, others are reporting sustained community spread. According to the CDC, cruise passengers are at an increased risk of person-to-person spread of infectious diseases like COVID-19 due to close quarters on cruise ships and boats. It says with the global pandemic continuing, there remains a risk of infected crew and passengers on those vessels, and that COVID-19 outbreaks have been reported on several cruise ships. And some good news for Grand Bahama's tourism sector as Balearia Caribbean has announced that it is resuming services. Here is Megan Shepard.
Balearia Caribbean planning to launch their first sailing on Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Under Phase 1, the company has announced that it will operate passenger sailings once a week to Freeport on Thursdays. The new passenger sailing will coincide with the already established cargo route. The company notes that the future addition of sailings to Freeport and the reopening of their Bimini route depend heavily on the success of this first step, which is why they have expressed not only excitement and optimism, but that they are approaching this second reopening attempt with extreme caution. The historic movement towards the restoration of the sea-based international travel market includes a new temporary itinerary. The new itinerary will have the ship sail out of Port Everglades at 8 a.m. and out of Freeport, Grand Bahama at 4 p.m. Balearia Caribbean would also like to reassure passengers that they will continue to follow strict safety and sanitation protocols to ensure that their passengers have a safe transit. The company has been certified by the international entity Bureau Veritas with the Global Safe Site COVID-19 certificate. Balearia is the first shipping company in operation to hold such a high level of safety certification. The use of face masks and coverings will be mandatory during the duration of the travel process for both passengers and staff members. Plexiglass dividers on every seat and common areas have added additional layers of safety. Other measures implemented by the transportation company include temperature scanning for each passenger before boarding and easy access to sanitizer dispensers in the terminals and aboard the vessel. To facilitate social distancing, the shipping company has vowed to reduce passenger capacity by 40% temporarily. The ship and terminals will undergo a deep and extensive sanitation process before, during, and after each sailing. Balearia Caribbean would like to remind its future passengers that they will continue to work closely with the United States and Bahamas government to follow all of the latest travel guidelines. They recommend that all passengers verify all current travel requirements with the corresponding countries involved before making their travel arrangements.
Thanks a lot, Megan. We'll take a break at this time. On the other side, a look at your morning traffic.
Let's stay COVID-free. Remember the 3 S's. Sanitize, social distance, and stay inside.
You got to make the best of what you have in front of you. And that's some of our problems. We don't know how to make the best of what we've got. You keep on looking out the window and seeing something better. And you think if you get that, that's what's going to make your, oh Lord, this is what's going to make your life better. But I need to tell you, you need to make the best of who you are.
Join us this and every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. for Faith Touch on ZNS TV 13.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
During this pandemic, it is our duty to ensure that all citizens, residents, and visitors are adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocol. Restaurants may operate utilizing curbside pickup, drive-through, takeaway, or delivery. Any establishment who allows the entry of any person not wearing a mask is liable upon a summary conviction to a fine of $500. I am Ambassador Ashanti Ruko of the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit. Save a life that may be your own.
This message brought to you by the Ministry of National Security in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Everybody, are you on TV? Look, are you on TV? Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? Are you on television? I gotta tell my girlfriend I'm on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, are you on television?
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check?
Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay?
Charles Fisher, the traffic team, live on the streets on this Hump Wednesday with advice for those morning commuters.
Good morning, everybody. We are here in what we call a very busy traffic area. We were in the Marathon Mall area yesterday, and we thought traffic there was hectic. Well, if you have to ride this way this morning along Ahwaukee, this is a very heavy traffic area. Tractors coming out of the Ahwaukee area, traffic moving up and down the road. We're now joined once again by Sergeant Cressenia Johnson. And Cressenia, we've been here quite some time, so seeing a lot of infractions. Well, first of all, what is the speed limit on this road?
Well, anywhere in the inner city, it's 25 miles per hour, okay? And on the outer skirts, at least anywhere in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, your speed limit should not exceed that 45 mile per hour speed limit. So, for example, if you have like a bigger vehicle, you'd see even on the highways when you're traversing the highways, and you have signs posted that telling you what the speed limit is. If you're on the highway, you would see, okay, for vehicles, the number may be a lot higher than for bigger vehicles. But for the trucks, it takes a whole lot of different times for that vehicle to start, depending on the weight and the size and the road conditions. So based on that, you want to adjust your speed for the type of vehicle that you're driving and the road conditions that you're dealing with. So, for example, if you're traveling on a road like this, like we're seeing, I would never advise drivers to ever speed up in front of one of those big trucks. That is a no-no. It's a hazardous action. So if you see that that's happening a lot out here, we want to advise the motoring public as much as possible to avoid such actions. Things like that can cause very serious accidents.
Speaking about those big trucks and tractors coming from out in the Ahwaukee area, persons must be cautious because these trucks, like you say, are very big and cause damage, sometimes death. So give them the right of way.
Yes. So, for example, we're not saying that you should automatically give them the right of way as it pertains to you giving up your lane, because they too have to abide by certain rules. There's rules of the roads, and those rules are there for a reason, to make sure everybody traverses the street in the manner that they should do so. But we find that this morning, persons are not utilizing their turning signals. We find that even the trucks, they're just in the habit of swinging into this intersection and swinging into that northbound lane to go on to our Waukee. So it's a behavioral thing, again, like we suggested yesterday, where persons are just used to doing a particular action. So as much as possible, if you're in this area and you find, I also say, just want to make a reference to the smaller vehicles. We find that the smaller vehicles are the ones who want to take those chances. So as much as possible, if you're in this area or traveling on any street and you find yourself involved with these bigger vehicles, you want to, as much as possible, allow the bigger vehicles to, if that's their right of way, if they have the right of way in that area, allow yourself to adjust to that speed and to that driving condition and slow your vehicle down.
We normally get started with traffic matters from overnight, but in this area we had to get started with what's going on. As we see in the background, this is a busy road. Persons use this road to go downtown to work, out west to work. Yes. Anything happened last night?
Well, overnight we only had 3 accidents reported to the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division. We have good news because we had 1 person who was discharged from hospital, leaving 7 persons now hospitalized. So other than that, we came out okay yesterday, so we want to encourage everybody to continue to pay attention. But I also can say this, as I traversed the streets yesterday, I realized that a lot of people are still using their cell phones, and yes, they were ticketed for using those cell phones, and again, those persons on the park, they were warned. I passed by the park this morning. So yes, they're adhering to the things that we're saying out here, so good job, everybody. Let's keep this up. We want to decrease the amount of accidents that are happening as much as possible.
Just want to now decrease the amount of speed. I see that person see that the police vehicle is here. They're slowing down a bit, so cautious.
Yes. So police presence, of course, it does it, and enforcement, it does it as well. So as much as possible, we're going to pay special attention to this area because we've seen some scary things out here. All right, so as much as possible, drivers, please slow down, please adhere to the speed limit and the road and the conditions that you're traveling on.
And like they say, small craft should stay in port. So let me get on the side of the road because these cars are driving up and down. Back to you in the studio.
Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture continues with its months-long of celebration of Youth Month. On the line is Sandina Neely, Head of Department, who's talking about the Youth in Parliament virtual presentation this year. Good morning, Sandina.
Good morning, Lloyd. Thank you so much for having us.
So it's a first for many things this year, including Youth in Parliament. How is it going to look this year?
So this year, as you know, we are normally used to taking to the hallowed halls of Parliament for our young people to have their robust debate. But this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are having them carry on their session in a virtual setting. And so they're all excited about the fact that they've still been able to have their voices heard. That's the most important part about Youth Parliament, is for young people to have their voices heard.
And how are young people and others around the country able to tune in this Friday?
Yes, so it takes place this Friday, October 30th, starting at 9 a.m. You're able to tune in at Division of Youth 242 on our Facebook page, and you're also able to tune in on the Parliamentary channel.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, on the line with us via Zoom is the speaker for this year, who's also representing Pine Ridge, Lorna Bethel. Lorna, it's a big year. It's the first time you're doing a virtual Youth in Parliament, and the first time for Youth in Parliament, I think, for you in general. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Good morning. It's actually not my first year. I did Youth in Parliament last year, 2019. So it feels great to be able to come back and to hear all the amazing speeches. I didn't have to write a speech this year, which was incredible. And it's just awesome. When you listen to Youth in Parliament on Friday, you will get to hear Bahamians from all over in the Bahamas, even some that are now studying as far as Scotland in the United Kingdom, being able to tune in and present a speech, represent their constituency. It's amazing.
Now, of course, it's a new norm. The entire Youth in Parliament session will be virtual. And what will be your focus? I know you're going to serve as speaker, but you're also representing the Pine Ridge community. What will you focus on?
Well, I didn't have to write a speech. However, in general, we're going to be focusing on the new normal. So we're looking at the effects of COVID-19 and how a lot of Bahamians in the Family Islands, particularly, are faring with COVID-19 and us moving into this new digital era, and COVID-19, how it's forced us to be more digital and forced us to have to find new ways to connect, even though we're physically distant.
And that's a very important point, but a very important question here. If you could speak to the youth of the Bahamas, of course, you understand at this point, you are a public figure, so if you could speak to youth across the country experiencing so many challenges, what bit of advice would you offer to them?
The advice I would offer to them, and great question, by the way, is to simply find a way to connect with other like-minded individuals. The Division of Youth offers so many ways that you can put yourself out there and become connected in organizations and groups that help you to develop yourself as a young person. It's so important for you to find the information and to just push yourself to get involved. So I would definitely say connect with the Division of Youth on Facebook and on their social media platforms.
Well, thank you so much. And Sandina Neely, any final words before we wrap up?
Yes, we just want to thank you again, Lloyd, for having us this morning. We are so pleased to be presenting this virtual celebration platform for all young Bahamians, whether they're in the Bahamas or whether they're studying abroad, and we want them to continue to stay tuned, as I said, for Virtual Youth Parliament that takes place on Friday at 9, and then we have the Virtual Youth Awards that's happening at 8:30 p.m., and they can find it right here on ZNS TV 13.
Awesome. Definitely looking forward to it. Thank you both for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the current pandemic and the force of Hurricane Dorian have hit individuals from various communities across the capital. With a widespread unemployment wave, many who are considered to be living in middle-class areas of New Providence are feeling the pinch. Hence, the Killarney Cares program was born to assist these individuals. Founder Siobhan Johnson shares more on the initiatives.
So there was this perception that people who lived in this constituency were not hurting, and they were our neighbors. So we just wanted to kind of centralize our efforts and make sure that the person right next to us perhaps didn't have a need that we couldn't assist with, and just be our neighbor's keeper. We started out, the red light for me in particular was when some of the law firms and some of the companies you just wouldn't have typically hear about that were furloughing employees, etc. You realize that a lot of those persons make up our middle class. They paid private school tuition. You know, they keep money circulating in the economy. So it just raised a red flag. A lot of money was going into Adelaide and Gambia, but we had a new vulnerable category, and that was our middle class. So we just wanted to help a lot of those persons. In the West, a lot of the rental property additionally was also being used by Dorian victims. A lot of them came in this area for rent. A lot of them was hired in the hotel industry. So a lot of them too were displaced economically. And so you don't want them suffering twice. Some of them were receiving social assistance from these other programs. So our attempt was just to supplement that further.
Now, according to Johnson, the assistance also seeks to build a spirit of unity, support for residents in the need.
We have a few work streams, so it's not just food assistance. So it's whatever people need. If we could help, we try and help. It could be anything from, there may have been, we were trying to contribute to the reduction of community spread by not having people come and go as much as possible. So when people sometimes see deals on seafood or groceries or whatever, you may have neighbors agreeing to, I'll collectively go and purchase for a neighbor, and they come back in the community and spread it instead of everybody leaving the community and coming back. We have a significant amount of retirees in the area whose family members may not live in the area, and we just wanted to be a point of contact should something happen. Again, they don't have to be up and down. And if they had someone closer in the community that can assist. We also economically are an empowered community, and we also wanted to support our family island. So whenever we are aware of, fishermen, honey from Andros or Long Island, sea salt products, we also try to kind of partner and send business to the family islands when their economy was shut down. So this started around April of this year, and we've just been growing and growing.
Now we'll take another break at this time. On the other side, a look at more news.
body of the Bahamas Association of Medical Technologists, or BAMAT, offer this pronouncement because our celebratory activities were suspended. We wish to say thank you to all essential healthcare workers, police and defense force officers, and to encourage the youth of this nation to seek out fields in the medical laboratory profession, and to let you know that this is a viable option for a successful and rewarding career. Scholarships are available through the Ministries of Health and Education to help you reach your goals. This announcement is brought to you by the Bahamas Association of Medical Technologists in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Over in Central Andros, residents are now breathing a sigh of relief with the newly repaired Fresh Creek Bridge back in operations. Since Monday, motorists were traveling the bridge, and according to Island Administrator Glenn Lightbourne, this is good for the island's economy and transport.
Currently, I must say, I've received very positive feedback from persons in the district. Those who live south of the bridge, like I said, includes Bering Point, Cargill Creek, and Bowen Sound, as well as the airport, which is the main way of transport to leave the island. And those activities that occur on the other side of the bridge would include a bank, as well as the Ministry of Transport and the Water and Sewage Corporation. Now that it has been connected, like I indicated, there's very positive feedback. They're thankful for the efforts that were made.
And Arawak Key vendors making strides to not only boost their business, but provide more job avenues for persons in our community. Our Charles Fisher is live at the Arawak Key.
No.
I got it in my hand.
Good morning. We've moved right across the street here at Arawak Key. They're trying a new initiative right now, joined by Goldie. Most folks know me. I've been out here for quite some time. From when I was a little boy, not to say that you're that old. And also Lillian. So they're trying a new initiative. First of all, Lillian, you're the coordinator out here. Tell us about what you guys are trying to do.
Well, good morning, Bahamas. I need to tell you that we are excited. In this time and during this time, we have decided to take an initiative and press forward in bringing Arawak Key back to the way it was. And the first thing we need to do is teach you how to make conch salad. Wow, it's an exciting adventure, and it's going to be a 4-day program, yes. I'm very excited about it because this is the first time it's ever happening. It's going to be 4 days, 4 hours for each session, and we're going to teach you how to knock a conch, skin it, how to prepare a conch salad, a tropical salad. We're going to teach you customer service, how to deal with your customers, because you know you have good customers, irate customers. And along with this, we're going to introduce COVID-19 protocols to encourage Bahamians that when they come out here, they still need to social distance and wear their masks, etc.
When is this program scheduled to start?
It's going to start sometime next week. It's on the 2nd to the 5th, so it's 4 days, and we're launching it today, and so we're going to send out the flyers and social media. We have the applications already. It's $100 for the application, and that will include your conch salad knife and all of the ingredients, and we're going to have some special T-shirts made that are on sale. This initiative, we want to do this every 3 months, because we want the Bahamian people to understand that this is a lucrative business, and it's dirty, but it's clean money. So let's get into it.
One of those instructors will be Gold. You've been here for quite some time. Cracking open the conch and all that stuff you'll be teaching.
Well, I mean, good morning, Bahamas, number one. If you look back on my history, you know, I've been the champion for many of years. You know, these young fellas come around, and maybe some of them done run me down, but when it comes to conch, everybody knows the godfather for conch. You understand? My good friend up the Porter's Key, Leslie Roll, he ended up beating me. I did 18 seconds, he come behind and do 17 seconds. You understand? But I didn't throw my hand in, but I wanted actually to really teach Bahamians. You know, because if you run an ad out there for a conch salad maker, whether it's a woman, a boy, or whatever else, we want it all. So women out there, if you all want to learn, don't feel proud. Just come down here, and I have the patience and the time to actually teach you. I want you to believe now you can get some little nip and you can get some cut. I don't care how good you get, because I was the godfather, and sometimes I get my little nips, you know. So that's what we plan on doing on our key, bringing fish fry back to Bahamian.
Like you were saying off air, things are slow right now, but something like this will encourage persons to come out, will encourage persons as well.
Definitely.
Well, I have an idea, and it's been stirring in my stomach for a couple of weeks now, and I am focusing on those persons who are in the culinary arts business. You're out of the hotel, you're not working, you already know how to use a knife. You probably could use a knife better than myself and Goldie. Who knows, but you should be bad at a knife. So you already coming in 80% prepared. You need to knock out a conch, skin a conch, check it out. You need to learn that part. And let me tell you something. This is something so exciting. When I learned how to knock out a conch and skin a conch, listen, it took me a couple of weeks. Practice. But when I finally got a conch with no black skin on it, listen, I run up and down Awaki showing my conch. I've been here some 20 years, and I can tell you, learning how to knock out a conch, skin conch, and make conch salad is one of the most precious things a Bahamian can do.
Well, I think I'm going to take them up on this class in another few weeks. Once again, they'll go online. Where can they get this information as we wrap things up here?
Well, we have a flyer going out, so the number is 556-3277. You contact that number for your application form. We'll be sending it out on social media, all of the information. So please, Bahamas, please, let's do this together.
Well, thanks a lot. Go there, coming back later on for one of those good tasting conch salad I had when I was a kid. I know you're the godfather, 17 and 18 seconds. It took me about 17 minutes just to hit the hole in the conch one time ago. Talk to you in the studio.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Have a great Hump Wednesday, Bahamas.
Nassau's gone soul. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own Nassau Rock and Nassau Road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soda. Feel right. Mini skirts, max skirts and afro hairdo. People doing their own thing, don't care about me or you. Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's got soul now. Oh yeah. And we got a doggone beat now. We're gonna take care of business too.